Hello Aquarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you are the Prince of Cups right now. This is someone who is trying to stay authentic. This is somebody who finds themselves in a rather hostile environment, but is trying to maintain their sense of self and their identity. Okay? You're somebody that is not going to compromise who you are just because everybody else around you is different. You're okay being the bubble in the ocean, under this tremendous emotional pressure to be like everybody else, or to conform, or to change your mind, to change your opinion. You're going to hold fast to who you are. There's a depth to you. There's an intensity about you. And I feel like you believe in something, and you're not going to let anybody tell you otherwise. You're not going to give up on what you believe because of the pressure. You're not going to surrender to that pressure. It's just not who you are. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. A little bit of context. A Six of Cups. Very nice. A Magician. Princess of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. The Death card. We have the Hierophant. Four of Cups. Two of Wands. Three of Swords. Interesting. You are definitely not going to give up on something, even with the Three of Swords, because of the Saturn in Libra aspect of that card. I feel like you are you are devoted to something. Okay, you are not giving up on something no matter what. You're not going to quit. Even if there is a lot of pressure, even if your own emotions are kind of like, becoming a little bit exhausted, kind of with that Eight of Cups, you're not giving up on this. It may be a family thing, it may be a relationship, it may be a work thing, it may be a project, it may be your own path. It's something that you really, really value. And you're not going to let anybody kind of take that value away from you or convince you to not value it. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to put it down right over here with our little octopus friend, the Eight of Tentacles. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below. As we look around the room, we see 1, 2, 3 majors, the Magician, the Hierophant, and the Death card. Now, the Death card is the process of change. That's all. Okay, it's the nature of nature. It's the fundamental force of the universe. It is change. It is slow and steady change over the course of time. So in other words, you're sticking with this process even if people around you are telling you that you ought to get rid of it. You ought to give up. You ought to abandon it. You're saying, no, I'm in it for the long haul. Because you have this magic, you have this wisdom, you have the technical expertise that you know that this is going to work. And you're going to give it all the time it needs. You're not going to run at the first sign of pressure, or the first difficult day. You're going to keep going. You've got fire right here. And this is the fire that you need. And this is the fear. This is the anxiety. This is the main issue, is that it's your will against the will of, it's the bubble versus the ocean. The bubble versus the ocean. Okay. The Two of Wands kind of is a versus type of card. Yeah. You've got water, 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 water. A little bit of air. A little bit of earth. Okay. A little bit of air, a little bit of earth. So the Prince of Cups, like I said, this is your authenticity. This is a romantic pursuit. Okay? And what that means to me is that it's something that you care about and something that you value. And that you're on this quest. And you're not going to give up on something. You're doing it for love. You're doing it for meaning. It's for beauty. It's for art. You know? You're moving toward what feels soulful. You're moving toward what you find meaningful and valuable. Okay? And you're not going to succumb to the pressure or the emotional weight or your own moodiness. Okay? Especially if like you don't immediately get what you want. You're not going to quit. You know that this is a long process. Over the course of time, the magician is causing change. The magician doesn't expect to just snap their fingers and pull a rabbit out of a hat. It's a long, slow, intentional process. It's the most meaningful type of process. So watch out for that, for moodiness, or for withdrawal, or for that emotional exhaustion that may try to convince you to quit when it doesn't happen right away. Okay? Channel your intensity into your creative project, into your heartfelt, meaningful, valuable, whatever that is. Stay consistent. Passion plus follow through. That's magic. Okay? What is the thing? What is it that your heart is truly in pursuit of right now? Tell me in the comments. Okay? You're a very deep person. And you have a direction. You're acting in accordance with what you truly feel. You're following the real longing. You're following the passion. Not the mood. Your heart is steering you right now. Okay? And this is that authenticity. And the Six of Cups is what you're after. And I don't know what this is. I want you to tell me, but it's something that it's pleasure. Something that you love. It's something that you value. It's something that you cherish. You want to keep it safe. It's warm. It feels good. Right? It's a joy that you know. Okay? And it's something for which you're willing to sort of put in the heart. You're willing to endure for this. Okay? This is a very simple and familiar and uncomplicated kind of thing. You love it. You know, it may not seem like much to anybody else, but this is what you want. This is what you want to do. Yeah. And this is a card of family, a card of community. This is the beauty. This is the real joy. This is the pleasure that you take in kind of, being devoted to whatever your goal is right now. This is the kind of perfect relationship that you have with that goal. And so it is that romance, And maybe it's a person. Maybe this is your family. Maybe this is your spouse or your marriage or maybe this is your art. Maybe this is the particular work that you're doing, the business you're trying to build. And I think that sometimes you get a little discouraged when things aren't perfect, and you may even now be feeling a little bit emotionally worn out, but you're not going to quit. This is really a lesson in keeping yourself motivated, even when you're not motivated, to continue showing up and not be crushed under the weight of that emotional pressure, the bubble in the ocean, getting squeezed into smithereens because of that emotional weight of the water, you know? You're fighting against that. Fighting against your own impulse to walk away from this. Don't walk away, Aquarius. Okay? This is meant for you. Ease into some sort of enjoyment right now. Reconnect with something that's going to make it easier for you to keep going. Take simple pleasures. A cup of tea, a blanket, watch a show, take a bath, take a walk. Okay? Connect with friends, family members. Pursue things that interest you, so that you don't walk away from something that is right now probably a little bit difficult. This part of the path is kind of a challenge. Okay? You need to find some pleasure in something right now to remind you that your journey, your spiral road journey up Big Rock Candy Mountain is not just a struggle. It can also be sweetness. So let yourself enjoy the soft things, the small things. A little bit of safety, a little bit of warmth right now. It's going to help you to keep going and to maintain your intensity, your authenticity, and to continue being that bubble in that ocean. I don't know your situation. Maybe you're in an intense family situation or a work situation where you feel like you're kind of in a hostile environment. That you're trying to believe in something and everybody else around you is trying to tell you that you're wrong. But instead of conforming by you kind of joining the dark side, going to the other side, you're staying steadfast in what you believe or in what you want or in who you are. There's pressure to conform. But you're withstanding that pressure as much as possible. Okay, and the magician, well, the magician is that part of you that realizes that you can do this, that you have everything that you need to make this work, okay? That you are a unique individual. You're a magic maker. You're living your life intentionally and authentically, and you will conform to no one or nothing that does not resonate with your soul and spirit. The magician is your focus, your will and skill. You have a very clear intention, and you're pointing your energy at it. And you know, and again, you're going through hostile territory. Other people's opinions or the pressure to conform or something like this. But you're doing the project. You're moving in that direction. You're using the tools you have, your knowledge, your skills, your talent. You're living intentionally. And you're living authentically. You're staying organized. You're looking at life as a magical ritual. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like you're somebody that likes to have a tidy space. You know, you like to organize everything, set things up just right, get your mise en place before you really start cooking, you know. It's kind of like when I come into the studio in the morning and I'll wipe down the desk. I'll shuffle every deck I have and make sure they're stacked, you know, neatly in their place, okay? And, I'll straighten up all my little figurines, make sure that and you see me doing it during the readings too, I'm sure, that I just I'll keep things, you know, in roughly the right place, and I'll just make sure everything's set, you know. That's kind of a readiness. So, you know, clean your space, your workspace, your altar, your desk. Don't let yourself be manipulated right now by anybody. Okay? Continue taking that bold, visible action that is really, it's a declaration. You're saying, I'm doing this. Okay? Right now, your thought and your word and your deed need to be fully aligned. Direct your power. Don't leak it. Don't give it away. You have agency. You have autonomy. You're the magic maker. And behind you, well, of course, this is the beginning of the journey. This is where we are coming from. The Princess of Pentacles. A situation that doesn't look like much, but it's got potential. Okay? And so this is the beginning of that project. This is the energy of the beginning where it seemed like kind of a dry and desolate, sterile landscape. There's no verdant energy here. All the life has withdrawn. There's nothing here. This is something that you have to invest in. And that's what you're doing. But the progress has been slow. The return on that investment, the growth of the garden has been slow. And so other people might be having their own opinions about it, and you might be feeling quite emotionally exhausted from really just having to defend your belief or your value. Because I think you value something here. You believe in this. You're going to make this work. And it's exhausting not only doing the work, but it's exhausting then having to resist the pressure of the people around you. Okay, it'd be much easier for you to just surrender and the bubble pops. And the bubble is squished into smithereens and all the molecules just get absorbed into the water. No more bubble. That would be easier. But it's not what you're going to do. So there's potential here. This is the beginning where we're trying to see some growth. We started something. This is the beginning. This is the path. Maybe it's a job or a skill, something about your health. It's your focus. Maybe it's like lifestyle. It's the relationship. It's the project. Okay? And you're nurturing this. You've been giving this time, effort, energy, money, and space. And it's been slow to develop. Okay. And this potential, the Princess of Pentacles now, it will eventually, given enough time and the right circumstances, it will become the Empress. In fact, all the Pentacles will, but this is your Pentacles card. It will eventually become the Empress. It is a long, slow process of evolution. It is change that happens slowly over the course of time. Okay? It's not an overnight change. You're tending to the seed here. And it's taking time. It's not fast. The potential here will become a reality, but only through your patient and deliberate, loving care. And that's what you're doing. Even though it's challenging now, not just because of the path itself, but again because of the environment that you're in, the conditions in which you find yourself. And I think that there are probably people in your life that are pressuring you to conform to some other choice or some other course of action. The Eight of Cups is emotional burnout. It may be a quiet exit. It's kind of saying like you're tired on a soul level here. Yeah. And there's part of you that is seriously thinking like how easy it would be to walk away. You know? And it's okay to feel this way. We feel drained. We're not forcing anything. We're not, we don't have to force ourselves to be enthusiastic. You can be demotivated. You can be burned out. You can honestly feel like I'm done. But yet, with that Two of Wands, you're still doing it. Okay, so there's a difference here. We can feel this way. I'm done. I hate it. I'm out of here. Goodbye. This sucks. I quit. I quit. I quit. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. You know, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to really, truly believe that and just feel like I'm just done and just release all that energy. But you're going to keep showing up because you care about this and you value this. So maybe you've even walked away from this several times. But you've come back to it because it means something to you. Okay? Give yourself permission to rest. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to have an explanation. Taking a rest is okay. I know sometimes we feel like if I walk away and I sit down and I rest, people are going to think I quit. And that's exactly what they want me to do. So I can't do that. If you get off the field now and you go sit down and rest, get a drink of water, and everybody else is laughing, there's Aquarius, they quit. I knew you'd quit. I knew you'd quit. That's okay. Ignore that shit. Pardon my language. This is a family show. Because that's the kind of pressure that's really gonna it's manipulating you. You can go rest. You could take a day off. You don't have to tell everybody, no, hey, I'm not quitting. I'm just getting a drink of water. You don't owe anybody that. And if anybody is going to expect that from you, they can take a hike. You do what you need to do. You can rest. You don't need to respond to all that drama and all that nonsense. Less drama, more quiet, more sleep. Okay? I think you do truly care about what you're doing right now. And I think that you need a little bit of rest and relaxation. You need a little bit of pleasure. Get a hot meal and a bubble bath. It doesn't mean that you're giving up. It doesn't mean that you're quitting or walking away. The magician needs to maintain a high level of efficiency, which means you have to take care of yourself too. Okay? You're not withdrawing from something, but you may need a rest because right now it's not feeling all that good. Okay? It doesn't. It's not as rewarding right now as it could be. So moving forward into this death card, this is not an end. Okay? The death card is not. It's not an ending necessarily. It's an evolution. It's a transformation. What it really could be saying too is that allowing yourself a moment of rest and recuperation and some comfort, right? A hot meal and a warm bed, right? Is allowing you to be born again tomorrow. You know, is allowing you to come back tomorrow with the gusto and the fire and this Mars and Aries, butt-kicking, badass attitude that you need. Because right here it feels like we're worn out. Okay? This is a renewal. This is a renewal. This is kind of like saying, look, yeah, today might be over. Let's go in, get a hot meal, let's rest. Tomorrow we are reborn. Okay? This is the card of rebirth and renewal. It's not a card of endings. Okay? It's a renewal. So especially if we understand the long-term implication of the death card, it's a slow evolution over the course of time. You want your line to go up and to the right. Okay? That's the long term. On the day-to-day, it's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. If you can survive the up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, you're going to go up and to the right just fine. And when things are down and we quit, we're never going to get the long-term trajectory. This is never going to become what it needs to become. You got to be in it for the long haul, which means you got to be okay with the dips. You got to ride the wave. You got to be okay with the ups and downs and the twists and turns. Okay? So it may be that you're in a phase right now where you're just not motivated, just feeling burned out emotionally from this. Take a rest. Get a hot meal, do something fun, treat yourself, buy yourself something nice, go out to eat with your friends. Just spend a day in bed doing nothing. Watching TV, sleeping, whatever. Eat. Have a little soup and sandwich in the bed. That's okay. That's going to restore you. That's going to renew you. I bet the mystery card's going to be the Star card. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Now, on the path of the serpent, we have the Hierophant. And to me, the Hierophant is a confirmation that you trust in your inner knowing. You trust in that inner code of conduct. You know, your inner standard, your inner building code. You know, you're not going to conform to what somebody else thinks you should be doing. You're returning to your core values. And you're saying, I'm living by my core values. I'm not going to conform to what anybody else thinks. I'm not going to succumb or acquiesce or surrender to the emotional pressures around me or the emotional pressure within you. Remember, the emotional pressure is also your own emotional pressure. That's just like saying, it'll be easier to quit. Nope. I'm not going to do that. If you quit now, you're doing it under duress. You don't make a decision like this under duress. Okay? You go inside, you sleep, you rest, you eat, you relax, you have fun, you feel good. Come back at it tomorrow because you believe in this. This is your code. Seek advice only from your true highest self. Okay? You're aligning your choices with what you know to be sacred, not just what is maybe convenient. Yeah, right now it'd be convenient to just quit and go away and be done. It'd be easy. But that's not aligned with your code of conduct, your inner code, your building code, your standards. Okay? You're going to make the wise choice here, not the easy one. You're realigning yourself here. You're being reborn, motivated. Because right now we may just not be motivated. And when we're not motivated, it's hard to get up and do it anyway. But you're going to. But it's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest. It's okay to drink some hot lemon water when your voice is all scratchy and gravelly. So you're making that choice. And you're staying aligned with that inner wisdom. Okay? And what we see in the environment, even in the relationships, is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is emotional rest. The Eight of Cups, right? It's the figure eight. Looping back in, ruminating, it feels hopeless, hopeless, hopeless. I'm just going to go rest. I'm going to go rest, and because I want this path to feel good. I want to feel energized. I want to feel in love. I want to feel inspired. But right now, I'm feeling kind of hopeless. So I need to take a little comfort. I need a little emotional rest. I got to stabilize. Okay? I need to stabilize. And this is perfect. Okay? You're resting here. And you're protecting your heart from that emotional pressure coming from other people. It really is the correction to our eight. Because this is hopeless. This is now, I'm going to rest. And then, of course, the Six of Cups is like, I'm motivated. This path is beautiful. It's a beautiful day. You know. This is where we're really enjoying our journey, and we're back at it. We're motivated. We're in a good mood. We're positive. We're giving something the love that it needs. Up here, it's like we're not at our best. We're not at our best, but we will be. So we're going to get renewed. We're going to get restored. So take a moment for yourself to realign yourself with what you truly care about, to block out the noise, to allow yourself to relax and get stabilized emotionally. And then we're going to go kick some butt. We're going to use this Two of Wands. which right now is in the position of the difficulty. It's difficult for you to get motivated. It's difficult for you to feel your power, right? This is you with your own direction and control. You own it. You are committed. You are strong. You're taking control of this situation in a concrete way. You're leading, okay? You're standing in your power, you're making the choice, and you're moving in this direction. This is, now we're back to being motivated. Back to being in charge, back to being in control. With that Eight of Cups, just not feeling it. The easiest thing would be to just quit, give up. No, what you're going to do is you're going to restore your energy. Okay? And you're going to come back with even more fight in you. Okay? Because you're not going to, this is a real like Rocky Balboa moment. Okay? Really, truly. And the Three of Swords, I think, is you understanding the process of change, you know, on the intellectual plane. You understand, like, logically that, yeah, there's going to be good days and bad days. You're not going to wake up every single day feeling like you're strong and feeling like you're motivated and you're all enthusiastic. No, some days you're going to wake up and feel like, I hate this. Now, you understand that intellectually. It's easy to talk about that. But when you're feeling it, it's very hard to get up and go do it anyway. You know, it doesn't matter what this is. Maybe this is you going to the gym. You know, how do you force yourself to do it even when you don't want to do it? Even when you just want to quit and give up, but you've already committed yourself to doing this. Okay. You're moving through that feeling. You're feeling it and you're stabilizing. Okay. Saturn in Libra. You are basically, your discipline is kind of forcing you to keep your commitment, to keep your promise. That's a very hidden, or I don't know if it's unpopular, maybe even an unknown kind of quality of the Three of Swords. Everybody sees the Three of Swords and we think, ew, this is the card of keeping a promise. Really, it's a card of loyalty. It's Saturn in Libra. It's that no matter what happens, no matter how dark things get, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to break my promise. I'm not going to break my commitment or my oath. And maybe this is a period of time in your life where your oath is really being tested. You promise? Okay. Do you still promise when things are really, really bad? Yeah. I think you do. Let's look at the mystery card. I want renewal, a hope, faith being restored, power being restored, fire. I want water. I want the star. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Tower. The Tower is now, to me, that explosive, powerful energy, for one thing. It's also, to me, the breakthrough. This is the sudden change. This is the overnight change. This is like slow, steady change over the course of time. And then, whammo, it's here. It's the breakthrough. So it's like we're getting really emotionally burned out because you've been on this path for a long time, and you feel like I got miles to go before I sleep, right? And so we're just at it, and it feels like it's never going to be done. This is the breakthrough. This is this is that moment where everything changes. This is that power. This is all of the challenges, all of the difficulty, all of the false kind of energy falling away. Yeah. And this is that sudden surprise kind of overnight change. This is that breakthrough. Amazing, yeah, look at that Tower. This is a pivotal moment. This is that final test where Spirit is saying, oh, you promise? Even when things get really, really bad, like I'm not even talking like, I was just having a bad day, but like really depressingly bad, you still promise? Yeah? Yeah, you do? Okay, then bam, there's your breakthrough. There you go. Now you have it, whatever the goal is. This is that final test, and it's the worst one. It's the darkest one. And then everything is going to open up for you. And it's going to be, and that's why they say it's darkest before the dawn, right? It gets way worse before it suddenly, surprisingly, like that, gets so much better. Where everything opens up to you. That tower is the biggest blessing. And now we're going to do an extended reading also. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. Subscribe to the channel, Aquarius, if you haven't yet. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.